Okay, should be live. Let's see how the background looks because I had to mess with OBS. Let's go over to the lobby. Check that we're looking good. Yeah, that looks acceptable. Okay. Jumping into a fast puppy. I don't really like how there's black borders around the screen, but we can figure that out at some point later. Okay, what is going on? We're trying to keep up our streak of live streaming a couple drafts every night. Just puppies for now. I'm not really brave enough yet to jump into. Oh, we got the 1 seed. Oh, finally. Cool. I'm not really jumping into Best Ball Mania yet. It's my second year drafting heavy in best ball. I'm still trying to figure it out. Spent a few hours today jumping into tight end, seeing how I feel about the position, what I want to do. I think the big conclusion I came to for redraft is I'm much more willing to take a tight end early than I am to take a quarterback early this year. I'm really happy with the quarterback depth late, but I'm really happy with the tight end depth late. I just feel like in single flex leagues, it's kind of a waste if you don't take an elite onesie like in the first 6 rounds or 7 rounds. Because your roster is not that deep. You're starting five between, 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. So I figured you kind of need to be in on one or the other. Or you're gonna have a really beefy bench, and that's good. Even if you're comfortable taking the late guys, I just think you probably want to take one of the early ones. We are gonna get a Jahmyr Gibbs here. That is the first time all of our picks that I've been doing on video here. I've been like 9 to 12. I'm so excited to get that. I barely have any Gibbs. I barely have any Bijan, and I think they're gonna have fantasy defining seasons this year. So that's really exciting. So I think what I'm gonna do with the tight ends and what was so tricky about today and why I didn't just bust something out real quick. It's why it took longer for me to figure out. I think it's more about who's there when I'm taking the elite tight end that's going to keep me from doing it. So at this turn, I haven't really taken any Brock Bowers in almost 100 best ball drafts, right? I think it's because at the turn, I think Nico Collins is a top 10 receiver who could go crazy this year because of his talent. I'm really high on George Pickens irrationally, but I don't think he should be above Bowers, I guess, because he's not technically the number 1 on his offense. But I think there's this level where Nico Collins is my cutoff. Nico Collins, AJ Brown, and Drake London. I don't think I'm willing to take Brock Bowers over them, but I think I will take him if he's on the board and they're not anymore. Does that mean I'm going to get a lot of Brock Bowers this year? I don't think so, because he's going 20 to 22 most of the time. But so I've been trying to think about that, and I think one of the bigger ones is you're often going to get Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren at the 4 or 5 turn. So that's what came out when I was writing the article. I think that's what's making me so hesitant to take Bowers as early as he's going. I think you're going to have a shot at a really, really good season with 2 guys who I believe will lead their teams in receptions. Obviously, you prefer Colston Loveland on the Bears to Bowers on the Warren on the Colts. I just think that it's my being so high on those 2 guys, and then Tucker Kraft, who's going to be a 6th-round pick. He's an 8th-round pick on here. I think that's what's causing me to be really hesitant with taking Bowers. And I know Bowers is a different tier than those guys, but I think those guys have really, really great seasons coming. And they're 20 picks later. But I do think I want to start habitually taking, maybe not in best ball, probably a redraft thing. I do think I want to start habitually taking premium tight end for redraft. Probably gonna end up with a lot of Tucker Kraft if his ADP holds. His ADP is all the way up around 68 on Yahoo, which is crazy. I think that's too high. I don't think that's where he's going to be going come draft day. So we'll see. So this is kind of what I'm talking about here. I like AJ Brown much more than Drake London. But I do have Nico Collins there as sort of one of the last true alpha receivers, and obviously we would take a Derrick Henry or an H if they came back. And then if not, that's when I'll mess around with Bowers. If these guys all go, and I have a chance, I've been doing a lot of double hero running backs, so I don't want to take, I do really like Jeremiah Love's value here. I don't want to take him. I would, if I end up getting 2 of these 3 receivers, that's good. But yeah, so I guess what I just need to get over is my thing is I feel like there is too much hopium going into the Brock Bowers steam already, where people are saying he's getting the JSN role, and Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza are going to be able to support him, and Clint Kubiak's an offensive genius, and we know it's going to go this way. I'm just a little bit hesitant to say we know it's going to go this way already. God, that's a pretty good slide on Drake London with Brees Hall and Love going there. I don't think Drake London gets past this guy. I would be shocked unless he's just anti Drake London. Cool, he does. He goes George Pickens. Okay, that's a great. God. So we get to do this is like I bet you this is a fairly unique roster. A Drake London, Nico Collins. You needed to have some stuff fall that way where Brees Hall goes early, Jordan Love goes early. Take a look at the board. I can never exit out of this thing in a timely fashion when I do this. Yes, remember my decision. Allow. I've been saying all summer, I think the one is a cheat code because a start like that is wild. If you guys can get that in redraft, I think you absolutely have to. Um, Bijan, Pickens, McBride's pretty good. Josh Allen, that's a little too early for Josh Allen because he's been going later and people, I don't know. I don't know if I like that pick. I love Rashee Rice, Chase, and Love is really good. That's a freaking awesome three receivers right there. If you go JSN, Brown, and Smith, especially in best ball. That guy's probably doing jumping jacks. This guy reaches on Javonte Williams. I'm not sure I would take him over Kyron or Josh Jacobs. Probably over Kyron now with like the splits that were coming out today between Kyron and Corum. So the tight ends thing, it does seem like McBride's fairly priced. It does seem like Bowers is fairly priced. And I really like the pricing on Loveland, Warren, and Kraft. And I think that's your big five this year. When people say that they're going to go great or late tight end, I think Kraft is involved in the great section of that. When I was looking at the points per game last year, he was the tight end 2 in points per game. That's not going to close all of Underdog. Okay, cool. Maybe we'll keep it like that for a little bit until we get closer. So yeah, I think that's the move. And then I really like that chunk of 3 tight ends that breaks out after that from round 7 to early round 8. I have it Laporta, Fannin, Pitts. That's what's going to go in my article. It sounds like a lot of people are really high on Pitts because of the passing volume. He's clearly Tua's number 2 receiver. So we'll certainly consider that. I just think that all 3 have the capacity to get really good volume this year. I think Laporta's the obvious most volume concerned one because of the guys that he's in that offense with, but he also has Goff in that offensive environment that's incredible. So this dude gets a crazy slide on T. Higgins. That's pretty rare to see not a crazy slide, but that's pretty rare to see T. Higgins at the 3-4 turn, and then he follows up with Waddle. I absolutely love that. This dude with McConkey on top of Hampton, Cook, and McLaurin, fantastic. This is why I love the double hero running back builds. I'm not as big of a fan of this guy's build. I really like Igbuka, but McMillan spooks me a little bit. Walker spooks me a little bit. But look at that. That is why I am encouraging you guys to let it rip with 2 running backs at the turn. Any of those rosters can win a redraft championship and probably do pretty well here too. So we can go like true hero. I mean, Josh Jacobs isn't going to be there, but I would take Josh Jacobs. And you know what? If they fade ETN all the way to the turn, I'll take ETN too if people are really that panicked about it. But David Montgomery is my favorite guy here. And then we can go ahead and jump in when can we pull on a Stroud? Yeah, we can hope he's there at 144, 145 and get a Stroud stack. I don't mind that. I've also been doing, when I get Gibbs, I've often been taking Jamison Williams and throwing Jared Goff in there a little bit later because I think he's a pretty good price. I don't know if I want to do that necessarily. I might just go big here and go for, well, if Mike Evans is here, Mike Evans shouldn't be down this low. I think that's crazy. I prefer Montgomery to Scattaboo because he's safer and I think he has just as much ceiling. So Mike Evans goes, JMO goes. But that's totally fine. I love Montgomery as a back, especially with Jahmyr Gibbs, because like if Montgomery really hits, that's like a game-breaking duo there. But I also think Montgomery's going to have a nice high floor, and Gibbs obviously gives you all the ceiling in the world. So that's a great turn. I'm happily taking Devontae Adams in half PPR in the 5th round in best ball. I don't think that's priced properly whatsoever. So here we will, if Tyler Warren slides back there, we will take Tyler Warren. Um, Maybe a Drake, an unstacked Drake Mayer, Jaden Daniels, if there's that run of all these receivers in here. So my hang up with that tier, that 3 tier that comes after the big 5, they all seem really good on paper to me. I've been taking a lot of Laporta around pick 100 in best ball this year. I think he's totally fairly priced. And I'm pretty excited if you come away with any of them on your roster. It's just that historically, landing the tight end 5 to 15 does not really make that much of a difference in your points per game. So I guess my holdup is when you look back through history, it would say unless one of those guys really pops and pushes into the top 5, which I think any one of them could do, you probably created a negative EV move with your roster making that pick. So I don't know if I fade him though, right? Because I think in other years that's been guys like Jake Ferguson has been going in that pick. I don't think that's one of those years. I think that's a pretty quality trio sitting there. I think more what I want to fade is that group that comes just after it, which is like in terms of ADP, it's Travis Kelce, Ferguson, Likely. I don't think I want those guys, and I don't know if I'm necessarily diving on Kittle. My favorite by far back there is Mark Andrews, like I've been saying, and then Dallas Goedert. I think Dallas Goedert's a really good pick at price. So if I go way back, that's where I'm going to go, and I'm going to sort of skip that opening part. So that's what the article is going to be about. It's going to come out probably tomorrow, just the boring tiers one, and then the strategy thing is going to take a little bit more time because I'm trying to integrate it into like a draft guide, right? The blueprint like Sal Vetri has. And I have to really think about how I want to do that because the 2 elite onesie articles are going to interact. I don't think you should go late quarterback and late tight end, but I like them both so much that I'm worried that's what I'm going to end up doing. Finally, we get guys, they're going where they're supposed to go. The elite quarterbacks should not be being pushed to the 6-7 turn. We're finally seeing them go a little bit early. Oh, interesting. If you mess with the draft picks, it just sticks you there. That's annoying. Normally, I like it when it moves with you. Hopefully that gets it to move with us. So it doesn't look like either of these guys are going to get here, and that's a tough break at the turn. I'm not really a fan of this turn without that. I've been avoiding this range of running backs for the most part. Jalen Warren's my favorite with upside. I think Tony Pollard does pretty well if the Titans bust out, so that's what we'll do. I would rather just pick Marv here. I don't want any Chuba. I just don't. I'm sorry. I know people like Chuba. I don't. Come on. Take Caleb or Burrow. Okay. Yeah, we have good stacking options later. We're going to throw in more in there. So with the tight end, that's what I'm struggling with though. It's just there's some historical things that say one, going super late tight end, even when it feels deep, is just probably not true. There's probably not the depth that we think there is. I mean, we can see it right here if we organize by ADP. That's the 3 that historically they would tell you you're not really going to get a. And I looked at the points per game over the last 5 years today when I was writing it up. It is true. Tight end 6 through 12 does not really move the needle too much. So I know people are really high on George Kittle, but he came off after his Achilles. I'm not confident about that. Travis Kelce, I think, is actually pretty appealing. That's like maybe, even though I just said that's the tier I'll be skipping, like this is maybe the round I'm going to start my shopping in because I think these dudes have a little bit more floor. Did I buy headphones yet? No, I did not buy headphones yet. There's a new version refreshed to update. I'm not doing that. What? Jalen Warren, Joe Burrow. Did it auto pick? Oh, it auto picked for me while I was talking? Oh, I forgot I was right on the turn. Oh, I hate that. My least favorite. Oh. I took an unstacked Joe Burrow when I was lucky enough to get a number 1 seed that I've been dying for. Oh, man. Oh, that is so utterly terrible. I could have taken Caleb. Did I let him get Caleb with some cool stack? No, he just took Caleb. Oh my God, I would have rather. That is beyond disappointing. Watch, because then Brock Purdy's going to be sitting there, who I just prefer in a vacuum to Joe Burrow. and I would be able to stack Brock Purdy with Pearsall at the turn. There's some other guy on stream ripping that pick, probably, dude. Probably. Might as well continue getting tape on what I'm doing with tight ends. So Mark Andrews is going to be my big flag plant late. If not Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert or Isaiah Likely. And then Brenton Strange is going to be another one of my favorites, even though I don't have him in the tier. The kinds of guys that I'm actively avoiding on redraft, I cannot stand rostering boom or bust tight ends. First of all, Jake Ferguson, I don't even think booms this year. I think Jake Ferguson boomed because Lamb was injured last year and or Pickens left games early or whatever. I don't think oh God, dude, that just kills me. Watch, he's back here, isn't he? Where's Purdy? Oh no, Purdy went early. Okay. That at least makes me feel a little better. Chris Godwin, I would absolutely love if he gets back. He's probably not going to. All the content creators are steaming him up pretty hard right now. Yeah, Ferguson's just fancy K-Dot, and that is correct, sir. He's not good. I cannot believe I took Bro. I mean, I guess I got him 6 packs past ADP, and if he stays healthy, it's moderately interesting, but that is not the pick I would have made there. Yeah, he's like a handcuff pass catcher. And also, but the same thing with, I'm seeing Kincaid did not make my cut for tight end 1. I'll show my tiers after this. Kincaid did not make my cut as a tight end 1 because he may finish as 1, maybe, but it's going to be boom or bust. It's going to be really ugly the whole way down. And I don't like rostering those kind of dudes in redraft. I really don't. So he's going to go way down on my list. We'll be pretty happy with 2 of these 3 guys. I should probably be taking a little bit of Josh Downs. I've been taking so much Ricky Pearsall here that I don't have a lot. And, they're saying he's going to move around the formation, move in 2 wide receiver sets. I do kind of like Addison better in a vacuum, but I've gotten a lot of Addison falling. So we'll take a little faller value on Josh Downs. We'll take Ricky Pearsall. That's a pretty beast. Oh, I would have liked this roster so much if Joe Burrow was not there. Even if that was Caleb Williams, I would have found that a lot more forgivable. Devil's advocate is Mark Andrews, boomer bust too. I don't think so. So that's what I think is different, and that's, again, what I'm going to sort of flag plant in the article. I think Mark Andrews is going to be their second most reliable pass catcher this year. They paid him like he is. I'm a huge Elijah Surratt guy. I think he looked really good playing with Fernando Mendoza. He looks like a really technically sound football player, like a big slot. But the scouting reports were pretty back and forth on him because he's not a traits guy. He's actually a lot like Keon Coleman. And Keon Coleman did not, even though some of his tape looked good, he was making a lot of contested catches in college. And that's what Elijah Surratt is. I still think he's going to be the big slot there and get work. But my thinking with Mark Andrews is they don't actually have a second receiving target there. I think he might get volume and touchdowns this year. I don't think it's just like a touchdown or bust thing, but I do think he's live for 10 touchdowns. So that's why I keep taking Andrews. And then Goddard, I actually think has a shot at even though he got those weird shovel pass touchdowns last year, and that's probably pretty fluky and probably doesn't hold, I think Goddard might be Hurts's most trusted pass catcher for a big chunk of this year, or second most trusted. No, he's not going to jump He's not going to jump Devonta Smith. So, I don't know. Those are the 2 guys that I prefer at that range. And then likely, I don't care about the news that Malik Neighbors is at practice on an exercise bike today. Likely's probably going to get 4 to 6 weeks of run as the preferred target there from Jackson Dart. Dart loves throwing to tight end. He did it prolifically. And yeah, so I'm hunting volume with those guys, I think. And George Kittle freaks me out too much. I know they're saying he's going today. But Deepak Chona was on Fantasy Pros, and he didn't sound very, very bullish about it. Just didn't sound good. I'm pretty happy with this wide receiver room. I really can't get over that I blew it so hard there. Maybe I should have reached on Jared Goff. We'll see if any of these stacks fall to us. I don't think they do, but if any of them fall, that would be kind of cool. I want CJ at this. Would it be this next turn I would have to take him, or can we wait one? 144 to 145. We will hope CJ Stroud falls there. If these guys aren't there, I am still taking Casey Concepcion, even though Mary Kay Cabot, the primary coverer of the Browns, said today that Jerry Jeudy is going to be their starting wide receiver. Yeah, man, a 32-year-old with an Achilles is a tough sell. Yeah. Yeah, I love Kittle. I really do. But everyone's kind of saying, like, we're getting Kittle this year, is like how people are acting. And, like, we're getting real Kittle. And I don't think we're getting real Kittle at all. At all. So this would at least save it a little bit. I would be pretty stoked if Jared Goff or Matt Stafford could come back around with Joe Burrow, because that's a pretty big slide. These guys have been going like as high as pick 100 I've seen. If you guys read the QB tiers article, you know I'm extremely high on Goff. I'm pretty low on Stafford, but I will take him for the stack with both Ferguson, who I've been taking a lot, and Devontae Adams. This guy has one quarter. They all have one quarterback, but these are really good two quarterbacks to stack in here, so we'll just have to see what they want to do. Oh, God. Okay, perfect. So in a vacuum, who do I prefer? I mean, I do. I prefer Goff. I have him in a different tier than Stafford. Even though he has the same buy as Burrow, we're going to try to get CJ Stroud at the next one to stack up with Nico Collins and David Montgomery. That's a little bit more investment in quarterback than I normally like making, but we have the two Texans here. Maybe I should just push it and get Geno Smith later just to fill in the bye week, because those two guys should be pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know. We'll see if Stroud's on the board when we swing back around. But yeah, so very similar conclusion. I mean, here are the tiers. I just moved some guys around, as Reddit will freak out about my AI generated tier list, even though it took 6 hours for me to think of and write all this stuff on. I guess it's low effort to make the tier list. Andrews ahead of Kelsey. I still do prefer Andrews ahead of Kelsey, but with Patrick Mahomes looking like he's good to go week 1, I think Travis Kelsey is locked in as my 7. I think these three have to stay in a different tier than these guys no matter what. The profile just looks so much better with them. Yeah. Brenton Strange, love him as my late reach. That's going to be one of my most rostered best ball guys. AJ Barner, love the shout there late. That's where I have it. We can go Gesicki late if neither of these guys is there. We can take a Stephon Diggs, Travis Hunter. Possibly Brenton Strange if we just want to shore up the onesies here. Is that Jonah Coleman going that early again? God, Jonah Coleman at 126. I've been taking Jonah Coleman like crazy just on the assumption that there is no way, because it hasn't happened yet, that J.K. Dobbins plays a fully healthy season. It's interesting. It seems like people are coming up to that theory as well. So there goes CJ Stroud. So in that case, we may shoot for a... Yeah, we're going to shoot for a late... Oh, no, Travis Hunter's there. Take Travis Hunter, and we'll take Brenton Strange. Maybe I should have taken Omar Cooper there, but I've been kind of taking him a lot. You know, if you shoot for a late Geno Smith, that's not terrible. We'll see if either of these two guys fall. We need someone who's going to be available week 6. So I think that's Old Man Rogers. We'll stack him with Jalen Warren. And then I'd love to get my hands on Tank Bigsby, Dylan Sampson, or Alvin Kamara. We'll move Alvin Kamara up to number 1. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty chalk. With the tiers. Oronde Gadsden, one of my favorites for what I'm going to encourage people to do if they have the bench space. If you're only taking 5 wide receivers, 5 running backs, which I think you probably should. I don't like taking a second quarterback, certainly no second defense or kicker. Is grab these guys that might go off. Chigakonkwo, Oronde Gadsden, AJ Barner, thinks a pretty good shout. Greg Dulcich. And hold him and see for a couple weeks. Maybe Terrence Ferguson in really deep leagues. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those guys pop and all of a sudden you found like real value down there. If you're playing the tight end 2 game, like I'm going to be in a lot of leagues. So we're going to have that other pick late. We'll throw all these guys on just in case they slide. This will be for when we come back around after this turn, and we'll actually include the Muth and Gesicki if we do get Aaron Rodgers here. I would love to get Alvin Kamara back here. I'm stoked his ADP is still staying a little bit low. I don't think he's going to be some, fantasy-defining player this year or anything like that. I just think he's going to be a really nice, you're going to end up taking scores from him at some point. He'll probably score a few touchdowns. Normally, I've been taking Dylan Sampson here pretty hard, but I do want to load up on Kamara while I can, because at some point you're just not going to be able to get much of him anymore. I think he's going to fly up to a point where I'm not really that interested, because I ultimately don't think he achieves a whole lot. And then, yeah, we love this blob of tight end. If any of those come back around to us, we will throw them on. Have a pretty good tight end room, pretty good quarterback room. And then my favorite guy, I just keep adding him back. I do like Sean Tucker if we can get it. I like Emmett Johnson if we can get it. And then I really like Braylon Allen if we can get it. Katron Allen too. 15. 3 more picks. We'll throw Wicks down here too. I did really like that report that they think he's going to be a guy this year, just as far as getting a lot of reps. I thought that was good. That was encouraging. It's what you want to see. Mary Kay Cabot saying that Jerry Jeudy's the starter. I think he has to be a fixture in there. Gesicki and the Muth are punt tight ends that I wonder if I can get swinging back around, but it will be the very last pick of the draft, huh? It's probably pretty unlikely. Great price for AJ Barner, whoever ends up getting him down here. Debo Samuel, I noticed, has been sliding. I don't know if that's just like people think he's not going to sign somewhere. He's going to play somewhere this year. It's just a matter of where. I cannot believe I pulled the 1 seed. I get this chance to build out rosters exactly how I like them. It makes me so happy to do, and I messed up that turn. I would have taken Caleb Williams over him. I probably just would have taken a receiver and gone heavier on tight end in the middle there. Or gone heavier on wide receiver at the, around pick 100. Oh, God. Huge run on tight end. So that's when we'll have to make a choice between one of these receivers. I mean, Debo would have to be top, though, of my queue there. If he gets all the way back, that's a great ticket on Debo. 5 receivers, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7. So it's probably this guy's the most likely guy to take him, although I wonder if one of these guys do. We're almost 30 picks beyond ADP. Okay, does he survive one more? Okay, this kills me because I want Debo for sure, but I do really, really like adding Braylon Allen here. So we're going to do that because I think he's going to have a pretty good year in relief of Breece Hall, and I still think he is one of the most premium handcuffs in football. And we'll see if any of these receivers come back around to us. I've gotten a lot of Tank Dell. I'm going to chill out on mixing in Tank Dell. I was like hearing a talk about his injury today. It just does not sound good. We'll start mixing in some Jalen Noel. Maybe Collins doesn't go off 1 week because Noel catches like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Christian Kirk. Katron will take out of the mix, even though I do like Katron Allen a lot. And then Keenan Allen too, if not. Might be 2 zeros here between these two, but time will tell. I don't think it's a 0 though. I think Debo plays somewhere this year. So ideally this is Gesicki, but it looks like that queue is getting eaten up pretty quickly. You know what? We have Rodgers. Do one of those. Starting to see a lot of steam for Ricky. I think that's good. I think there should be. Who was on the board when I took stupid Joe Burrow? I mean, it would have been like Sutton's like my favorite pick around there. Or I just could have taken Caleb Williams or DK. Stupid. God, big run on all those late receivers. Come on. There we go. Nice. Pretty happy with that tight end room. Mark Andrews, Brenton Strange, Mike Gesicki, Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jalen Warren, Kamara, and Braylon Allen. Great hero. I guess it's not technically a hero because I did go with a wide receiver or running back 2 there. Really happy with this wide receiver room. Drake London, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, Josh Downs, Ricky Pearsall, Travis Hunter, and Deebo Samuel. We'll do one more. Again, when I don't like write an article that day, I don't know if I have the most interesting stuff to say. Maybe I'm just wasting people's, maybe mostly my time, not really anyone else's. But maybe I'm just wasting time talking to no one when I'm doing that. I don't know. But I have a lot of fun doing these. You might as well do them on stream anyway. Do we get another high pick after I've been at nothing but the back? Does distribution start to even out a little bit? It's going to be 6, isn't it? It's always 6. 1 again. Oh my God, let's go. Cool. We sort of have to have a plan for what to do at that turn if that thing unfolds like that again. I think just DK. I haven't been taking a lot of DK Metcalf. I don't like him at cost. But I don't know. We might kind of have to. I don't think we're going to get blessed with a Drake London, Nico Collins turn again. So we'll have to be a little shifty there. I do... You know, it's weird, like wide receiver was a little bit skimpy at that turn, but I think that was particularly wide receiver heavy because we didn't have Cam Scattaboo. Or we had Cam Scattaboo there at the turn. So I could go like Jeremiah Love. Keep us nimble at the 4-5. We'll see. Little JSN at 6. That's cool because one of the running backs will be available for you at the back end, whereas they're not always available for you from 5. So that guy will get a pretty good, like, you can get an A-Chain or a Derrick Henry or a Chase Brown if they fall. Running back over these two, you love to see it. I would absolutely be doing that. I'd be taking James Cook, but I would. And then this guy's going to get a great James Cook turn. Go Saquon, go James Cook, Saquon, James Cook, Hampton. Saquon. Yep. A-Chain and Jefferson. Dude's taking all the risk. Does not care. Hampton Lamb, I do really like that start, although pretty risky himself. Bowers and Genty. Okay, that guy's going to try to build early. Kenneth Walker and Jonathan Taylor. It's not my thing this year. So that's kind of cool. So we are going to have one, well, it's kind of cool for this guy. It's going to have one of the running backs push back, and then the CMC roster is still going to get his double hero running back start if he wants it. Maybe he goes wide receiver here because he got a little weird taking McCaffrey ahead. But I wouldn't be too cute with that at all. AJ Brown, yeah. Well, I guess that was all the receivers, huh? We'll go. I think that's how I have these guys ordered. Take whatever 2 of them are here. There. Now if we get that awful 6-7 turn, we'll reach on Dak instead. But I think that might be where we build out running back. Just take 2 of them there. Or if Colston Loveland's available at the turn, that would be pretty sweet. And then obviously if Josh Jacobs falls back. And then open up the Terry stack. Terry's been going early, but God, dude, if any of those guys are there, I think that's a huge value. I guess Burden if he's there. Maybe DeAndre Swift if we end up getting Loveland and Swift, we can do Caleb at the turn. Who do we like here? My start's okay. I would have liked it a lot better with Nico Collins. I prefer that one. Bijan Robinson, Nico, Devonta Smith. Probably prefer that start. Chase, London Hall. Puka, Love, Kyron. That's not my thing. Christian, Brown, Chase, fantastic. JSN, Henry Olave, very nice. Let's see what these guys are building. We have the same thing. Double running back, 2 wide receiver build. I don't think I would have gone McConkey and McMillan. I don't like that. I don't like going Cam Scattaboo over Williams and Jacobs. I think that's kind of banana land. Garrett Wilson, you had to anchor there. Waddle, Flowers, Taylor. That's just not my thing. Even though I really like Waddle, I'm a little skittish about Flowers, but he did get him at a better price. Got him at what, pick 32. It's fine. Just cannot bring myself to pull the trigger on any Malik Neighbors this year. It's not going to be for me. Still no Colston Loveland going. Dude, this guy is just crushing it. Gets the faller on Njigba. Gets Derrick Henry. It's fantastic. I love Olave. I do think he's risky, but I like him a lot. And then Jacobs. You cannot ask for a much better start than that. I bet you that guy is doing jumping jacks. Mike Evans, so he's going to go for the Brock Purdy stack with Christian McCaffrey and Mike Evans. That is fantastic as well. There goes Terry, the number one guy I was hoping to come back, but that does mean that maybe Colston Loveland makes it back, which is kind of exciting. I'm just not a Luther Burden. Oh, and there goes Colston Loveland, and I'm not a Luther Burden guy. Ugh. Okay, because wide receiver's been going at the turn so hard, we are going to take Luther Burden there, and then we're going to take Jamison Williams here. 2 boomer bust guys with George Pickens, which is not my thing. I hope Rashee Rice provides us floor. Whatever though, that's round 5 basically. You know, those are both round 5 picks at that point. Luther Burden, we'll live with that. I will take Tyler Warren if he comes back, and then we'll take. When I'm that thin at running back, I don't mind going like my ideal picks here would be a Tony Pollard and Jalen Warren back to back. But if Parker Washington comes back, that's very tempting. And then obviously if like Jordan Tyson, Thomas Odunze, Carnell Tate, any of those dudes, we will certainly hit that. Ideally, I would like to do Pollard Warren here and build out the room, but I will also take the Caleb Williams Burden stack. I don't take a lot of Burden, but I'll take a stacked Burden. What have I been seeing on, what else have I been seeing on Twitter today? I have been seeing some people saying Burden's officially going too high as he's approaching the 3-4 turn in high stakes. I think that's absolutely correct. I think he should be a 5th round pick. I'm not taking him in the 4th round. I'm not taking him above like who I consider bona fide studs like Waddle or Terry McLaurin. I think that's bananas. But we will take some 5th round shots. I would say you should take some 5th round shots on him. And then JMO, I'm not taking JMO under any circumstances in redraft this year. I'm just not. He's a terribly stressful player to roster in redraft. DJ Moore goes. Jadarian Price, I'm encouraged by he's not going to make it back, but I don't have any of him because he hasn't really been my thing. I am encouraged by the report that Charbonnet is going to be out 8 to 11 weeks. Which is right. That's about 9 months after he tore his ACL. So I think I probably do need to start forcing myself to take him, especially on a hero RB roster. That's where you should be taking him. We'll see. It kills me when I don't line up a stack with any of these guys. Those three, not those three, I don't prefer Burrow, but May and Daniels specifically are so inexpensive, but I don't necessarily like going naked quarterback here. I prefer the stack. I think that price is not going to be the price in a couple months, and it's certainly not going to be in redraft. If you're hammering these guys in the 6-7 turn, that's going to be a miracle. It's not like that on Yahoo Mocks though. I don't think it's going to be like that when come draft time. Maybe I could have gone Devonta Smith here, stack up Devonta Smith with Jalen Hurts, but I'm a little skittish about Hurts this year. I think Hurts is decidedly the quarterback 7 of the big 7 quarterbacks. Kind of a tough call if we have to choose between the Caleb Williams stacks or Pollard Warren, because I'll feel great about this room with Pollard and Warren. And I'm pretty high on Goff, but I would have to reach on him, I believe, if I'm going to get the Goff stack, right, which I kind of need. That's going to be at 97. That's not terribly high, actually. Okay. Two picks away, so one of them could still go. It should still be. God, dude, Drake May should not be going there. We might just take an unstacked Drake May if for some reason. Okay. Please don't take a running back. Okay, that's what we're gonna do instead. Well, Drake May's really good value. No, we're gonna take these two. Boring volume, week by week, and Jalen Warren, who I think is actually gonna catch like 60 balls this year. I'm high on Jalen. Okay. So that means at the next turn, we need to get ourselves Jared Goff non-negotiably. Or excuse me, not Bo Nix. Jared Goff non-negotiably. Stack him up with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams. This will be another one of my things. Read my quarterback articles. Jared Goff is not priced properly. He might throw for 4,000 yards, like 30 touchdowns, 4,500 yards, and 40 touchdowns. Their defense sucks. They just lost one of their best secondary guys. They play a lot of indoor games. I know they play an outdoor game in the playoffs this year, but Jared Goff is a really, really good price where he is. I think in redraft, you're going to be able to get him in like the 120s, 130s. And if you stack him with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jahmyr has the year we think we're going to have, you might have like a 5 to 6 touchdown stack there in the receiving game on top of it. Definitely do it. And then Laporta, I'm still pretty big on either way. Wide receivers that fall here. Should diversify a little bit. I keep taking Parasol, but he is just such my favorite one here. I wonder how many times the Jahmyr Gibbs drafter takes Pollard or Warren, because look at that, ADP 72, pick 72, ADP 73, pick 73. That means a lot. Very frequently, the Gibbs drafter ends up with that stack. So here I think we would just stack up all of our Lions. If Laporta gets back to us, we will happily take Laporta with Jared Goff. And then we'll hope that Wandale is back there on the comeback. One of my favorite receivers at this area. We can try to go receiver, second quarterback on the comeback. Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield I like with Kate Otten. I don't really have any stacks here to chase. That would just be adding someone who I think like gives you some floor. Okay, so unfortunately we don't get our boy in Just going to keep taking Ricky. I want a lot of Ricky. We do not get our boy in Laporta. Rip. But if Harold Fannin Jr. comes back, I would like Harold Fannin Jr. because now we need a tight end. We have pretty good at receiver. I'll take Harold Fannin Jr. or Pitts if they're there. I don't want to keep taking Mark Andrews. I don't like doing that thing where you're just drafting the same roster over and over. I'll take a Kelsey. I guess we have Rice here, so... Certainly Brock Purdy if he's there, which would open up George Kittle, but I don't think he's going to be at 119. Maybe he slides a lot. Wandale White, Casey Concepcion. I'll have to see what Reddit says on feedback for Pitts versus Laporta versus Fannin. I'm just not a Kyle Pitts guy, but it seems like the fantasy community is very in on him, so maybe I'll be wrong about that. $144, $145 is probably a little late to get Cam Ward, even though he would fit here, especially if I get Wandale. So yeah, we're gonna shoot on a quarterback for depth here if it falls this way. I don't want to wait for Cam Ward, and then once that range at 140, 150 is off the board, it's just horrific. It's absolutely horrific. Not doing it. There goes Wandale. Look at him going a little bit early. He probably should be going a little bit early. I think that's the right thing. I don't know why you'd go Harvey Dobbins on the same team. Seems like if one of them really hits, the other one doesn't by definition. I would pick a lane there. There goes KC. A lot of the cheap wide receiver value we're getting. Love this dude with the White and Robinson. Those are two of my absolute favorites in this price range. So we're going to get a little bit boxed out here. And Brock Purdy goes. Yeah, I'm going to be really happy if we add Kyler and Baker Mayfield. We have to turn around on the quick turn again. I have not been taking a lot of George Kittle. Like I said, I'm not really a fan, but we'll take whichever one of the old dudes gets back to us, right? Because I don't really have some big positional need. Ooh, I hope Baker Mayfield doesn't go here. That does suck. Oh, actually, I'm cool with Tyler Shock. Cool with Tyler Shock. We'll make it happen. Those were my two sleeper guys in the quarterbacks article. So we'll add Baker Mayfield and we will add Travis Kelce. And then hope one of these dudes is there on the comeback. Seems like it's always strange. And that running back room's a little skimpy. He's been flying like up boards. I have not been able to consistently get Jonah Coleman at all, but what we're going to do is we're going to leverage against that guy, right? Because he is screwed if Jonah Coleman's who ends up scoring big in that room. Yeah, we'll do it like that. Just see, these guys are going to get absolutely chewed up by the time we're back on the clock, but Jonah Coleman would be a good add here. This might be one where we go 6 running backs. What builds do we like here? I feel like fucking Gollum. I'm talking alone saying, what do we like? I think that's an that's just so good. Oh, that's just so good. And then he gets the burrow stack, and did he get love? He got sniped on love. Yeah, that's art right there. McCaffrey, AJ Brown, T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Christian Watson, Joe Burrow, Tucker Kraft, Jonathan Brooks, Gainwell, Jones, Malik Willis. Absolutely wonderful construction. Larry Lauder. Be that kind of drafter. It's like artistic. This guy's horrific on the end. I don't like what he's doing. Although it is kind of cool that he came and stacked up his guys here. Not my thing. That is so cool. That is what I'm chasing out here. And then this guy's draft I really, really like too. JSN, Derrick Henry, Olave, Josh Jacobs, Jackson, Warren, Pearson, Addison. I think Pierce is not priced appropriately where he is. Gets a little fall on Addison. Blake Corum, Casey Concepcion, Andrews. Yeah, these two dudes crushing it. I want to be like them when I grow up in the middle. So we're going to have our pick of the litter here. I want Kate Otten later. I still prefer Strange there, but I've been drafting way too much Brenton Strange. We're going to take whichever one of the running backs makes it back to us. That does suck that Cam Ward would have been there if we wanted him. But I want to bolster depth here. We'll go Aronde over Chig. I really prefer Strange to all these guys, but we're gonna bet on some Aronde Gadsden spike weeks. Okay. Stoked to get Jonah Coleman. Stoked to get Aronde Gadsden. That's a pretty good turn. And then we're gonna keep trying for Samson or Kamara in the comeback. Be like pick 169. What do we have for late stacks here? Oh, this is where I love doing. I do like Ryan Flournoy, but Isaac Tesla, really big one whenever you have Jared Goff. I think Isaac Tesla catches a lot of touchdowns this year because he did last year, but I don't mean catches a lot of touchdowns. I think he gets a lot of usage, though. I think he's going to be their clear third wide receiver. And like I said, one of my big structural picks I keep making is just I think the Lions passing game goes bonkers this year. I think they have to pass a lot. So then what we're going to try to do, oh God, 169 to 192. So yeah, almost certainly after that long stretch, we're just not going to be able to get our hands on we're not going to be able to get our hands on Otten, which is just my favorite thing ever with Baker Mayfield down here. I'll try for someone else. It's okay. What did my two boys in the middle do here? Woody Marks, that's pretty good at 151. Trey Tucker, that's okay. Travis Hunter, very good. Charbonnet at 131 was definitely a choice. Now, the reach on Mendoza had to be oh, God, you know the Bowers Genty guy is lit about that. This guy reached on an uncorrelated Mendoza when he had Genty Bowers. Did he have another Raider too? No, he didn't. Oh. Just a dick. Trey Harris, solid. Daniel Jones at 163, very good. Okay, we're coming up. We still have our Samson, Kamara. I mean, Tesla would be the big one. There goes Kamara. Probably should be going higher, right? I hope Tesla is the really big one that I'm hoping for here, but ideally both of them. Looks like we'll get one of them coming back, at least. If not, I might take Bryce Young there at the cost is pretty good. Oh, there goes Isaac Tesla right before us. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go with a Bryce Young and a Dylan Sampson. God, lost Tesla, lost Kamara. We lost a lot on that turn. AJ Barner, Kate Otten, Terrence Ferguson would be absolutely ideal. Third quarterbacks for this build, or third tight ends for this build. I don't think they're going to get back. Man, I would have been so happy if we could have filled that out with Tesla. That's pretty thin at receiver, but those are like 5 receivers I feel really good about. Maybe we should just go double receiver and leave Gadsden there, but I'd rather not. I think we have 3 more picks, right? Yeah, 3 more picks. We can still go 2 receivers if we tag these guys on. Throw them all in the queue. Oh, especially Ted Hurst. That's actually a priority here now. God, 1 pick before Isaac Tesla. Kind of feels like the, slot-ish receiver and second outside receiver for one of the best passing attacks in the NFL should be getting more attention than he is. Smith, Collins, Robinson, yeah. This guy got a really nice late stack. Wan'Dale Robinson, Calvin Ward, or Cam Ward, Calvin Ridley. I was going to say he should take Gunnar Helm, but he went, okay, there goes Terrence Ferguson. Did Kate Otten already go? No, he didn't already go. There's Jerry Jeudy. Bunch of our queue going. As long as Ted Hurst is there, I'll be happy. But if Ted Hurst and Kate Otten were there, I'll be really happy. There goes Dontavian Wicks, another one of the favorites back here. I mean, this is the ADP range where they go. We're getting pretty late in the game. Okay, the brisket goes. That helps because we're not taking quarterback. Don't know why AJ Barner's falling. He probably shouldn't be. Come on. Let me get the Kate Otten stack late. Don't take 2. Oh, 1 tight end. Duh. Oh, why? There goes Ted Hurst. This will take Freiermuth. Maybe he gets traded or something. He didn't do that great with Aaron year 1. Now we're very thin at receiver too. I am not pleased with that. We can't take Brazel down here. I mean, it's technically a stack. I didn't really love the rosters tonight. I mean, it's okay. It happens, but not proud of any of the work we did here. Oh, that's what you love to see about the Seahawks passing game. It's going to be an enigma. Jadarian Price is the lead. George Halani, plenty of run, passing down, plus some rushes. Emmanuel Wilson, short yardage. Okay, that's what I needed. I'm out. I'm out. Enjoy your Jadarian Price shares, you degenerates. I'm so hurt about that Kate Otten pick. I love Kate Otten so much at this range. He went super late. And then here, I prefer Braylon Allen so much to these dudes. I think we're good. Well, there goes Braylon Allen. Oh my goodness. This draft, man. Well, bummer. I think I took an L here a little bit. Little bit. Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, unstacked now with everything except for Ted Hurst. Um, like those running backs behind Jahmyr Gibbs. I feel really good about that. I think Tony Pollard has a pretty good year this year, and I think Jalen Warren has a great year this year. I'm really high on Warren. Got a float guy and a huge upside guy in Jonah Coleman should things break his way. The problem with this wide receiver room is it's a lot of guys that are boom or bust unless Ricky really gets a hold of volume consistently. But I can't really add. There's not like floor to add here, at this point. So I'm going to take the Carolina rookie and hope he does all right. Okay, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'm going to have more specific stuff as we get into the articles that are dropping this week for tight end, what you should be doing with them. Thank you.